Some mornings you open your eyes and feel the same old weight, yet a holy longing stirs beneath the fatigue. Have you sensed that quiet ache urging you beyond routine? In the thin hush before sunrise, dawnlight brushes the edge of your window like a promise, inviting you into deeper listening than yesterday's noise. The God who never sleeps stands as your unfailing refuge, steady even when plans collapse and courage flickers. In this early hush you come to lay down schedules, unclench anxious fists, and seek alignment with His gentle heartbeat so every forthcoming walk may flow from grace rather than strain. Awake, my soul, awake. Harp and lyre, I will awaken the dawn. Psalm 57 and aid. These ancient words summon the slumbering chambers of your spirit. They remind you that praise precedes radiance and turns the first breath of dawn into holy soil. What single burden will you entrust to Him now? What fresh brightness do you desire to carry into the hours ahead? Now, as your heart grows still, we step into your soul aches for more than routine. You feel it when the alarm clicks and the room, half lit by paling stars, suddenly seems too small for the questions wrestling inside your chest. That restless pulse is not rebellion. It is the imprint of Eden echoing through cracked sidewalks and buzzing screens, telling you that bread alone cannot feed a spirit fashioned for eternity. You carry diplomas, passwords, receipts, yet still sense hollowness between heartbeats, and the ache is mercy signaling that you were made for more than surviving. Listen, every impulse to scroll, sip, or strive is really a coded search for the living spring. O God, you are my God, earnestly I seek you. My whole being thirsts for you in a dry and weary land where there is no water. Psalm 6:3-1. David's desert cry becomes your own. The sand in his sandals feels like the bus ride, the inbox, the late-night glow of devices that never satisfy. His candor gives you permission to name your thirst without shame and to bring it, unfiltered, to the one who waits. So you breathe, unclasping ambitions that once seemed urgent. You admit the small idols. Applause control, unbroken ease, that promise quick comfort yet leave a film of dust upon the tongue. Your Father's gaze softens the stiffness of self-defense. He asks no performance, only the honesty of a child who knows where true bread is baked. Outside, the horizon brightens, yet the true dawn kindles inside as surrender replaces pretense. Now dare a question what deepest craving hides beneath today's to-do list. Whisper it aloud. Hear Him answer the unspoken syllables with a vow older than sunrise. I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore I have drawn you with unfailing kindness. Jeremiah 31:3. Kindness is the magnet of this moment, pulling you from mere survival towards sacred delight. No demand, only welcome. Let that welcome widen. Imagine stepping barefoot onto dew-cooled grass, lifting empty hands toward widening sky. Your emptiness becomes capacity. Your H becomes expectant space. The early thrush lifts a fragile song, and you realize that even birds leave room in their hollow bones so air may grant them flight. In the same way, holy longing is not deficiency but design, space carved for glory to dwell. Stay here one more breath. Feel pulse steady, shoulders loosen. Promise Him you will not numb the yearning, but will follow where it leads, trusting that the one who planted hunger in you also prepares the feast. This resolve is the gate through which you step into dawning clarity, ready to listen for the next whisper of his voice. Finally, envision the hours ahead: corridors, conference calls, traffic lights, and quiet spaces between. Carry this hum of expectancy through every threshold so routine becomes liturgy. When irritation flares, recognize the hidden homesickness beneath it and lift a silent plea. When applause echoes, remember how swiftly it fades and let gratitude direct your gaze past the trophy toward the giver. Craving turns compass, guiding how you spend coins, syllables and heartbeats, and when dusk drapes the city in amber, you will look back and see how yearning, honored rather than smothered, stitched ordinary moments into a quiet tapestry of worship. Morning breaks with promise and clarity. You stand at the threshold where charcoal sky surrenders to a thin band of gold, and every breath feels freshly laundered by the night winds that swept away yesterday's residue. Light arrives quietly, yet it reshapes the room. Edges sharpen, colors awaken, and the questions that tossed like restless gulls only hours ago now drift into orderly flight. A single ray slips across the floorboards and becomes a beckoning path, urging you to step from dim, guessing into unveiled truth. The Father who fills dawn with wattage does the same within your mind, scattering confusion like mist over a riverbank. Notice how darkness never argues with sunrise, it simply yields. In the same way, anxieties loosen when you allow this holy brightness to settle on them. Let windows open inside your thoughts, grudges you carried, motives you masked, corners you neglected to surrender. You need not fear exposure, for light in God's hands is always coupled with tenderness. Because of the Lord's great love, you are not consumed, for His compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is His faithfulness. Lamentations 3:22-23. Each syllable is a dawn-hued pledge that yesterday's ruin cannot cancel today's mercy. Failures do not harden His face. Instead, they invite the sunrise of forgiveness. Let these lines soak into you like pale gold through a quiet curtain, convincing you that renewal is not rare, but routine in heaven's economy. Breathe deeply now. Feel the rhythm of your chest synchronize with awakening sparrows outside. Their songs are not rehearsed performances, but instinctive responses to light. You too are designed to sing when illumination touches dormant hopes. Whisper thanks that the God of galaxies also choreographs photons to kiss your eyelids, calling you by name. With every inhale, imagine warmth pooling behind your sternum, flushing away remnants of night fears. With every exhale, picture worries evaporating like dew under rising heat. Allow this clarity to redefine today's agenda. Projects waiting on desks, conversations hovering unfinished, decisions clouded by uncertainty. All sink into perspective when the horizon stretches wide and bright before you. You realize that tasks are servants, not masters. Expectations are platforms for grace, not cages of performance. Invite the Lord's radiance to go ahead of your commute, your meetings, your chores, bleaching hidden motives until only honest service remains. Yet dawnlight is not static, it climbs swiftly, resolved to keep pace. Carry a pocket memory of this first glow and revisit it whenever the sun climbs high and glaring obligations attempt to blind you again. When midday glare distorts priorities, close your eyes and recall the gentle tint that first parted night. Truth uncluttered, love unhurried. Let that remembrance be a compass sending you back to simplicity. God is near, mercy is fresh, purpose is clear. Finally, lift your gaze beyond your own windowsill. Notice apartment towers, quiet alleyways, distant farmland awakening under the same arc of brilliance. Pray that neighbors, colleagues, and strangers will taste this clarity. Ask that your voice, tone, and small acts today become prismatic surfaces reflecting holy light into unseen rooms. You rise not merely to function, but to reveal the color of God's compassion wherever shadow lingers. Keep your posture open, eyes soft, spirit quick to notice where the next beam wishes to land. In this way, morning's promise travels with you, turning hallways into corridors of sunrise and transforming routine footsteps into luminous pilgrimage. Silence tunes you to whispered truth. You slip from the bright veranda of dawnlight into a cloistered room of quiet, where every ticking second sounds like a shallow bell inviting deeper stillness. The world outside may soon accelerate. Horns, headlines, hurried greetings. Yet here, in this small pause, you notice inner currents that frantic rhythms usually obscure, slight tremors of anxiety, flickers of wonder, the faint hum of grace coursing beneath both. You realize that authentic awakening cannot be borrowed from noise. It blooms where hush makes space for the voice that shaped galaxies with a syllable. So you sit, feet grounded, spine lengthened, eyes softened, and imagine each inhale sweeping dust from the corridors of your awareness. Thoughts still parade, but you let them drift past like clouds rather than grasping at them. Silence is not absence, but invitation, and you learn to trust its open-handed welcome. A sparrow lands on a branch just beyond the window, shivers once, then settles, embodying the posture you seek, alert yet unafraid. Beneath the bird's breathy chirr, you hear a subtler resonance, the spirit's murmur rising from the center of your being, gentle as the flick of a candle flame. And after the earthquake, a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire, and after the fire a gentle whisper. 1 Kings 19:12. Elijah's mountain vigil mirrors your own need. Thunderous distractions give way to a still, small sound, proving that divine guidance seldom shouts above the crowd. It leans close and breathes clarity. Let that image linger. Imagine mountains all around your life, projects, relationships, decisions. Yet the most decisive revelation arrives not as rock-splitting spectacle, but as a hush that permeates bones. You begin to discern tone as much as content, encouragement pliant like willow branches, correction firm yet uncondemning, direction steady as a compass. When new insights surface, you weigh them against the character of Jesus, compassionate, truthful, humble, knowing that authentic guidance always accords with his heart. Practical noise clearing continues. You silence leftover notifications. Turn chosen minutes into sacred appointments. Perhaps light a candle or listen to the faint rhythm of your own pulse. Each deliberate act widens interior space so honest questions can rise. Why does that criticism still sting? Which unseen neighbor needs kindness today? Where have you clung too tightly to control? Answers trickle, not torrent. They gather like dew on lemongrass, waiting for the attentive soul to notice their shimmer. Soon you perceive harmony beneath life's cacophony. The spirit showing how yesterday's confusion, today's longing, and tomorrow's hope weave one melodic line. Assurance grows that guidance will return whenever you create silence. Therefore, You plan micro-Sabbaths throughout the hours ahead. Brief exhalations before replies, calm glances at sky between errands, silent gratitude whispered while waiting at elevators. These small rehearsals teach your nervous system to recognize holy frequency even amid office chatter or marketplace swirl. As you prepare to stand, you sense that the room within has grown larger than the room around you. Interior walls stretch wide with expectancy. Listening has shifted from task to temperament, shaping the way you will hear co-workers, family members, strangers. You resolve to bring the same patient curiosity to every conversation, to notice hesitations in another's voice, to sift hurried words for buried pain or hidden joy. Because ears attuned to heaven become tuning forks for earthly hearts. Already the next rhythm stirs, alignment of breath and action, the dancer waiting in the following steps. Breath aligns with holy heartbeat. You rise from quiet listening and feel air glide through your lungs like gentle river water, carrying the subtle rhythm of heaven into every cell. Inhaling, you notice how shoulders lift. Exhaling, you feel them settle, and the movement resembles the tide surrendering to lunar pull. This ebb and flow is not random. It echoes the pulse of the One who breathed galaxies into being and then stooped to breathe life into dust. You begin to realize that awakening is less about heroic effort and more about consenting to divine cadence, allowing each breath to tutor your will in surrender. As daylight now fills the room, picture invisible chords linking your heartbeat to God's vast metronome. Each thump becomes a yes to His purposes, each pause a rest where obedience takes root. You explore this union by imagining breath as prayer unspoken. Inhale gratitude, exhale control, inhale promise, exhale worry. Soon your inner posture shifts from clenched readiness to supple readiness. Like young bamboo that bends yet never breaks, alignment does not erase personality. It tunes your unique timbre so that, when you act, the resulting note harmonizes with the eternal melody already humming throughout creation. Since you live by the Spirit, keep in step with the Spirit. Galatians 5:9-5, Paul's imperative is gentle yet precisely. Divine life pulses inside you. Therefore match its stride. Spirit is not distant wind but nearby guide, ready to pace each decision, sigh and smile. Let that verse become a silent drumbeat as you envision today's tasks. Emails, spreadsheet columns, diapers, steering wheels. How might Spirit pace that meeting you dread? Perhaps by slowing your response, allowing wisdom to surface before words do. How might Spirit energize mundane chores? Maybe by awakening awareness of the unseen saints who once washed dusty feet. Alignment is not a one-time fit, but continual calibration. Pause, breathe, adjust. You learn to recognize friction, anxious rush, competitive edge, stubborn delay, as a dashboard light warning that you have drifted from holy rhythm. A brief prayer, a drawn-out exhale, and you merge back into flow. Notice also how body and soul intertwine. Posture can preach truth to thought. If tension knots your jaw, unclench in quiet submission. If shoulders hunch, let them drop like nets after a fruitful catch. Small gestures become sacraments, reminding you that you are more than brain in motion. You are embodied worshipper, temple of rushing wind. Alignment extends outward. The way you pace hallways, hold eye contact, or pause before interrupting becomes sermon without words, teaching colleagues and strangers that peace is possible in frenetic spaces, and alignment breeds discernment. As you keep step, opportunities emerge that might have been missed, a colleague's sigh signaling hidden sorrow, a child's joke revealing tender hope, a fleeting idea that could solve long-standing problems. Because you walk at spirit speed, you are present when grace arrives, ready to join rather than catch up. Even setbacks feel different. They become invitations to match slower tempo, trusting that delay may hide unseen protection or deeper preparation. By afternoon, fatigue may whisper that alignment is luxury, but you will remember morning breath and return, perhaps in a restroom stall or stairwell landing, to 3 slow inhalations and exhalations, each surrendering hurry. You are learning life as unbroken prayer, where boardroom charts and evening dishes form movements in a single liturgy. When night descends, you will trace the day's arc and notice invisible hands guiding each curve, and gratitude will rise like moonlight on quiet water, proof that spirit alignment turned waking into true awakening. Steps become mission in gentle power. You leave the still room and join the quickening streets, yet the rhythm within guides the pace without. So each stride feels commissioned rather than hurried. Sunlight now strong glints off glass towers and puddles alike, reminding you that dignity is not reserved for grand stages. Every curb and corridor can host holy encounter. You set your heel down as though marking sacred ground, conscious that the sandals of prophets once touched ordinary dust, no more extraordinary than the pavement beneath you. Purpose whispers through simple actions, signing forms, steadying coffee, greeting a neighbor by name. These gestures may seem modest, but power hides in their intention. When aligned with the Spirit, even a smile can unknit a stranger's loneliness. A patient reply can reroute conflict. A quiet apology can topple towering pride. You begin to perceive invisible ripples. One decision handled gently cascades into another person's afternoon, altering stories you will never read. Mission, then, is less about spectacular feats and more about faithful presence, showing up alert, available, anchored in the love that has already awakened you. Think of your schedule as a riverbed awaiting living water. Meetings are bends where currents slow for conversation. Errands are shallows where children toss pebbles of curiosity. Commutes are long straights where reflection glides unhurried. The course may appear fixed, yet how you travel it, unclenched hands, attentive eyes, ready kindness, determines whether those you pass taste stagnant routine or vibrant grace. You carry a reservoir drawn from dawn's well. Spill it freely, trusting that supply renews faster than need drains it. Obstacles inevitably rise, a colleague's sharp tone, a sudden traffic jam, an unexpected expense. Instead of bracing for collision, you pivot to invitation. What is the Spirit framing here? Perhaps patience forged through delay, or compassion awakened by another's frustration. Instead of reacting from habit, you consult the inner compass set during morning stillness. Inhale understanding, exhale retaliation. Thus challenges transform into training grounds where gentle power flexes quietly yet unmistakably. Purpose also involves boundaries. Because your yes now rings with conviction, you are free to offer a gracious no when tasks would fracture peace or dilute calling. You discern which urgencies are truly critical and which merely clamor. Saying no without guilt is as holy as saying yes with courage. Both protect the mission of being fully present. By late afternoon, footfalls may grow heavy, but you recall that journey matters as much as arrival. You pause at a crosswalk, feel pulse steady, and notice how light angles differ from dawn's first blush. Another reminder of time's swift stream. Gratitude surfaces for breath still rhythmic, for chances seized, for missteps corrected. You sense tomorrow's path forming even now. Yet you resist the temptation to leap ahead. Mission unfolds one clear step at a time, each built on the previous surrender. As evening shadows lengthen, review the day moments when gentle power nudged you to speak, to listen, to forgive. Note where haste tried to reclaim you, and where grace regained the reins. Offer both success and stumble back to the one who walks beside you still, and feel assurance settle like twilight birds roosting safe. Purposeful walking, you realize, is perpetual partnership, awakening applied to asphalt, cubicles, kitchens, and night streets, and it continues with the next breath you consent to align. Living light spills to every neighbor. You emerge into dusk's lavender hush with flame still bright inside, and its glow now seeks outlets beyond your own relief. Street lamps wink on, yet something warmer shines from your expression. An invitation written in the soft curve of your mouth, the patient tempo of your voice, the mindful pivot of your shoulders toward each passerby. Radiance is no longer metaphor, it is presence, traveling uncontained. Eager to leap from your attentiveness to the hidden crevices of another's day. Children sense it first, for their eyes are tuned to wonder. They glance up, meet your steady gaze, and smile as if morning has returned for an encore. You walk, and every surface, brick, leaf, windshield, borrows sheen from the kindness you carry. Some notice, others hurry past, but unseen photons keep scattering, weaving filaments of hope that linger long after footsteps fade. You need not announce mission, mercy proves itself by fruit. When conversation arises, you listen more than speak, yet words offered arrive seasoned with gentleness that disarms cynicism. You do not rush to mend every wound. Instead, you bear witness that healing is possible, standing near with a patience as sturdy as oak. Where tension crackles, you offer a calm question. Where despair droops, you loan a seed of courage. Remember, illumination flows best through clear vessels. Therefore, you guard heart space from envy's shadow and resentment's eclipse, letting gratitude polish interior pains until light travels unhindered. If jealousy flickers, you douse it with thanksgiving for another's gift. If old bitterness stirs, you breathe forgiveness like fresh oxygen, refusing to let mildew coat windows of grace. Such vigilance is not burden but joy, for the freer the passage, the broader the reach. Your home, too, becomes lantern. You switch on a porch lamp earlier than needed so late travelers glimpse welcome. You set an extra place at table knowing hospitality begins with readiness. In digital corridors, you pause before typing, ensuring your tone transmits warmth rather than glare. Small acts tessellate until whole neighborhoods glow. An elder finds groceries on her step. A newcomer receives street directions spoken slowly. A wary cashier hears sincere appreciation. Some evenings you glimpse ripple effects, laughter rising from an apartment you once found silent. Collaboration replacing rivalry at work, yet many impacts remain hidden. seeds sprouting beyond your view. Trust the gardener who orchestrates photosynthesis of spirit, turning each offered beam into fruit in season. Radiance also reflects back, illuminating corners of your own life you once navigated by habit. Friendship deepens, creativity quickens. Rest feels richer because light loves honest spaces. Should fatigue dim intensity, you remember dawn's well and return there tomorrow, for awakening repeats as surely as sunrise. Tonight, before pillow greets cheek, you whisper thanks that power flowed through clay, and you release every unfinished task into the hands that never slumber. Your final conscious thought is simple awe, that the one who ignites stars also chose your ordinary day as wick. Let stillness settle once more. Notice how dawn's longing, rising light, attentive silence, aligned breath, and purposeful stride have culminated in a quiet radiance, now resting on your chest like golden shawl. Picture sending that warmth outward toward family, colleagues, strangers you will meet. Offer one sentence of blessing for each face that drifts across memory. Sense their rooms brightening, their burdens easing. Hold the vision gently, then release it to God's care. Breathe 3 times, slow and deep, sealing the gift within you. When your eyes open, step forward carrying sunrise into every shadow.